Lam Rim Text Lam Rim Nyamle Jelia and Dabo Mazugi and the Mondo Jewish Chiruk said, Jewish Joa delay, Wedan Joan Yinane Joa, Jewish Chiru Nane, Nixing on the Neka Chitter Cheba Sadida, and the Kusudu Tien Jamba Sada, and the Cheba Yume Bashamba said, then there were two Shanicas. Then,
good evening. So we've been continuing to looking at the stages of the path to enlightenment that is in accordance with the capacity of beings of differing levels. And so last week we spoke about the preliminary practices that one needs to engage in, so as be at the start or even prior to one's meditation. So we mentioned that the need to having come to rely on a fully qualified teacher, as well as developing the qualities of a student within oneself. Then one should remain in a quiet place that is pleasing to the mind, arrange one's altar in a particular way, as well as make offerings, offerings which are pure and have been attained in a non-deceptive manner, and then prepare one's place of meditation and the area of meditation by cleaning it, and one's meditation seat. So we looked at that last time.
And
then tonight we'll start with looking at the objects of refuge. So now we're on page 7, about just more than halfway down. Conjoin your mind with the motivation of thorough trust in the three jewels. So as the meditation now starts with going for refuge, then the object to be visualized are the objects of refuge. So that is what one needs to visualize, and one needs to do this practice of refuge repeatedly, or again and again, so as to mix one's mind thoroughly with the minds of refuge. So the text here, just in these few words, it refers to refuge. So very little is said in the text, but what it's referring to is the visualization that one engages in, as well as the meditation.
미질에 겹쳐고 있는 미디 오수 여반의 소수 딘디 오수 여반의 델리안 저거 쉬어다 그렇지베나 소수 셈슈 체다 지용거와 당 오수 매바이나 안 지게 미디 통야지 매도반의 다른 무지로 여반나 안 소수 오수 투여 말이 매바자 델리아 저거야 되서가 중앙 리그로 안디네 인자 저디나신 당어도 겹이 오수 세답 소수 딘들이야 안 겹이 오수 예 삼제 안디네 삼로 계제 델리아
One can engage in the refuge practice whether one does so through relying on a visualization or not. The difference is is if one thinks of someone that one may rely on in the sense of turn to when in a time of need, when one is faced with perhaps crisis or difficulty. If there's someone that you know that you can rely on and who can and offer support to you when you're in a time of need, if this is someone that you feel a close affinity with, someone that you've developed a strong relationship with, someone that you know well, one's mind will have much more power and strength when turning towards them. Where if it's someone that one has just heard about, maybe you have some distant connection with, but they are far off and one doesn't engage directly with them, then one's mind may turn towards them when one is in faces some inner danger, but the strength of one's mind is going to be greatly weakened. So here we really talk in terms of the need to go for visualization, or the benefit of doing a visualization rather. This is about strengthening our connection, making the relationship feel to us more personal and more intimate.
Geshe Thubten Rabten and Ganes Tagore Slamna and Dun Rangi Kazada Rangi Minsam Terra Dun Delia and a jig Sangachepo Gigi Depi Tichembo Chiva some Tangoresi shoot Chembo Gashin Yangba Gyatso Chembo Chiva some Tangores.
The Celta de Cabayo make the Gosong, the Tsane, Atokari Celta Gimpe, the Digomason, the Tamade.
Sengechim shooty the Sata the Sengechimbo Gigi Pass, Choshilia, Sengi Ninja, Sengi Gigi, Gyashabi, shooty Chembuchi, and the young Gyachembo, the young watches, or the Nigisata Borregere.
Then in terms, so we've just mentioned briefly then the benefits of engaging in a visualization when one performs or engages in the refuge practice. Then in terms of the what to visualize, well, there are many different visualizations which are presented in text. Some are more expansive, others are much more condensed. So in the Lam Rim tradition, what is presented is that one performs a visualization slightly above one's eye level, so as Gena was indicating, slightly above one's eye level. And one visualizes a vast throne held aloft by 8 lions. And in terms of the positioning of one's visualization, it's not recommended to place it too high, somewhere way above oneself or down there, but rather straight in front of oneself. And in terms of the distance, not right here touching oneself or somewhere in the distance, but just the length of a prostration in front of oneself. So that's generally described as a comfortable level to do with a visualization.
다 데니게 티침보 슈트침보 디 다기들 양자 또 슈트 충하시다 슈트 충하지 아니 삼당고레스 다 슈트 충하디 강라야 아니 메도 가서 빼마시어 봐시 데네 데레야 아니 니메 기호 다 니메 기호스는 마보 고고치어 봐시 니메 기호시어 봐 삼다 디 강라 아니 다위 기호 가보 아니 지키어 봐 삼당고레스야지 제가 빼마치 니마치 나와 되니게
대 참아도 슈트충아
슈트 첨보디 강라 슈트충아 저러와 다디 충아디 강라 아니 메도 빼마 해 봐지 디 강라 되니 니미 기호 디 강라 대위 기호 다디 디 슈트엔로시 디 삼다 되니시 삼 사다고 그래서도
We're visualizing at this distance and height as described a vast throne which is held aloft by 8 snow lions. Then on top of this, one visualizes a second throne, but a much smaller throne. And on top of that is a variegated lotus with a yellow sun disk and a white moon disk on top of that. So we have this vast throne held aloft by 8 snow lions. On top of that then is a smaller throne which has a multicolored lotus on top of it, and on top of that is a yellow sun disk and a white moon disk.
이상 델리아 저기 베마세 되게 예중 순거 예중 되네 님이 기워 되게 동요도비 셰럽 청거래 저래 되네 다위 기워 되게 장주 셈 청거래 저래 지상 예중 장셈 야답에 따왔음 청거래 됐음 되게.
This, there are 3 key objects in this visualization thus far that have great significance. So the lotus, this symbolizes the mind of definite emergence, or the mind that renounces samsara. So that is what is the symbolic meaning of the lotus. Then on top of this is a circular sun disk. And this sun disk represents or symbolizes the mind that is the wisdom realizing emptiness. And on top of this is the white moon disk or moon cushion. And this symbolizes the mind of bodhicitta.
난다 되니게 다 대위기고 강나야 아니 다 지게 라마 소소기 다 자위 라마고 소소랑기 자위 라마 임바지라 남바디 덤바샤게 투바 덤바샤게 투바지 아니 차 예데 마 아니 선에 예 유엔디 냠샤게 난 뒤지게 홍제 남겨봐 제시
어디 보면서
예 선에지 다 유엔 냠샤 디가로 홍제 뒤지가위 홍제 남바시 안 되니게 아니 최고 시대가 아니 올라 죽도록 여봐 올라 죽도록 여봐 다 덤바샤게 두고 다가나 디도시 다 되네 덤바샤게 두고 지게 어디랑게 라마 힘발라 자위 라마 소소라랑 게다 라마 간에 쉐베나 소소라랑 수곰디나 소소랑 자위 라마 힘바 어질라 자위 라마 힘발라 남바디 덤바샤게 두바 힘바지네 사다 고레스.
Then so we had now the great throne, which is a smaller one, and on top of that the variegated lotus and sun and moon disk, and on top of that then we visualize our root lama, who we see as in essence inseparable from Buddha Shakyamuni, and the aspect that our root lama takes is that of Buddha Shakyamuni. So to put it, express it differently, one visualizes Buddha Shakyamuni on top of this moon cushion, but knowing that whilst one's visualizing Buddha Shakyamuni, in essence, he is indistinguishable from one's root teacher. And one visualizes Buddha Shakyamuni in the aspect as we see with the statue here, with the right hand in the earth touching mudra, the left hand holding a baking bowl, and with an ushnisha above his head, on the crown of his head.
나 내니 검제 되네 안에 덤바샤게 투비게 두가네야 덤바샤게 두가네 왜서야 야 강을야 또 강을야 최비게 왜서 최야돼 다 왜서기 왜서다 되니게 얘기 최야돼 야 우일야 안에 야와도리 창 여봐세 야와도리 창에 타고려야 안에 지게 냠네 진력규별 라마남 기권을 쉬어 봐서 지금 뭐 삼당 거래지래.
Det Gud giver mig en kasse, som her.
Jeg var dårlig chance.
Det går sådan, den kun giver Gud.
De tager nemlig 진력규별 Lama. Lama siger man bruger hvad
Godt så. And then, how do we say? Maybe surrounding Buddha Shakyamuni in our visualization, we have this halo of light again, as we have here as represented in the statue. Then above him is the conqueror Vajradhara, who is surrounded by many other great practitioners of the practice lineage. So this is visualized in space above Buddha Shakyamuni, the conqueror Vajradhara, surrounded by the lamas of the practice lineage.
나디네 안에 양 덤바시게 투비게 두간 바웨서데 예수는 바웨서 최용도 다 외세기 안 제기들에 안에 가서래 야와잠바 디 타고려 안에 파파토멜라서바 ane Geshe Thubten Lama namje kone shuyo ba saji on denishi samdang urejido
Dene di gyu di kene Gyatso wa gyu kene de sung pimpe.
Geshe Thubten Lama
Koso.
Gyatso Lam Rim namja
Kongi yapa. So I forgot to mention, so the from light rays from the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni emanate above Buddha Shakyamuni, and on that appears Vajradhara, surrounded by the practice lineage. Likewise, from light rays emanating from Buddha Shakyamuni's heart, to the right of the visualized Buddha Shakyamuni is Maitreya, surrounded by the lineage of vast conduct. So that's to the right of the visualized deity.
adine ane yaadde mashige tuwe tugane wese ba yunchol pa cheche andine yunchol ya ane tuyade di ane kidela dene jizun jambe yang che di tagol ya ane gombo lurupta arya de wala sobege ane samatawi ki bi lama nam ji kone shuyo ba shik ane de samdang oreje.
Then light rays emanate from the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni, going to his left, and there is Buddha Manjushri, surrounded by the lineage lamas of the profound view, such as Nagarjuna. So that's to the left of the visualized deity of Buddha Shakyamuni.
Ene rangi dunchole wese cheyande wese ndegale ya ane kaso rangi chire ngosu shunyenge zewi lama ane lama rangi chire typical lama nam shuyo yoba this samdang oreje.
Likewise, light rays shine out or emanate from the heart of Buddha Shakyamuni before him, and then before him one visualizes one's root lama.
Da dine da di dunla ane idam ane dorje chikje ane de lama da dunchola demba sangyo jumda digi dun dela lama namje di dunlia idam dorje chikje che ye chola ba ane sangwa tuba che yun chola ane jige de choje ane yabla ane karsore digi kholo che da dona ane gyudis gyudishi idam yilhaso chazan yue sambachi samdang wesere.
And then continuing to build this visualization, so from light rays emanating from Buddha Shakyamuni's heart, then one visualizes one's root teacher, and then before one's root teacher, then one visualizes the Yidam Yamantaka. So that is before or in front of one's root lama, who himself is in front of Buddha Shakyamuni. Then to the right of Buddha Shakyamuni, one visualizes the Yidam Guru Samaja. To the left of Buddha Shakyamuni, one visualizes Heruka. And behind Buddha Shakyamuni, one visualizes Kala Chakra. When one then imagines, so these are the main Yidams, but one imagines surrounding Buddha Shakyamuni are all the varying deities, all the various Yidams. So just to emphasize again, the left and the right that is being referred to is from the perspective of Buddha Shakyamuni, whom one has visualized before oneself.
Dene di dunlia ane di tawa di dunle ane garsore sanje trubiku ane trubi namba tembeke sanje ane jike bato meba shuyo sambasa.
Sanje
trubiku. Longo se de trugo se yorwa trubiku ane sanje trubiku bato meba shuyo sambeke sam.
And then the surrounding, so we've now surrounding the Buddha, we've had all maybe we could say the level of Yidams. Then the next level will be emanation bodies of the Buddha. So a vast array of emanation bodies of the Buddha.
Dene di tagola ane janshu semba je. Dene di tagola ane rangya. Dene ane di tagola nyendu. And dene di tagola ane Bawa Kandro, and Chigyo Soma di Chasan US and people some Bawa Kandro, Chigyo Soma.
And then there are several more levels. So we've had the yidams, then we have the Buddhas in the emanation body aspect, then we have a level of bodhisattvas, and then a level of hearers and solitary realizers, and then a level of dakas, dakinis, and dharma protectors. So these are all in a circular format around Buddha Shakyamuni. So we went from the yidams to the Buddhas, to the bodhisattvas, to the hearers and solitary realizers, and then the dakas, dakinis, and dharma protectors. Then it should be noted that the dakas, dakinis, and dharma protectors, these are all to be understood as being Arya beings, not ordinary beings, because there are different levels of these practitioners. But here we're just talking about those that are included in the Sangha jewel, so they'll all be Arya beings.
Dinade and the Chiki Chicken Soma and the Sosoki Papa Mayimbaru Yubaina and Digo Marcus and that they gave you set the goal, right? Japsutra, you set the goal. Jesa Jamdro du de la and the San Yokonjo Chokonjo, Kidun Concho Sum, Disum Nane Madubadi Yomare, Jesa Mevata and the Chiki Sumaru Chidim Big Sosoki Bot and Chidim Big Sumaru Tinukuane, Kimwana Shabaina. Give you Chagmarwa, just a digomar, this a dinza, the thing to give you sweat to pick up like Chugo Suma, sometimes the Yachasa Pavicans in go by the Kimzan in the
And again, the reason that one needs to be clear that the dakas and dakinis and dharma protectors are Arya beings and not ordinary beings is because this is a refuge field that we are visualizing before us. So these are the objects that we turn to for refuge, or to translate it differently, turn to for protection. So it wouldn't be appropriate if one was visualizing that these, for example, these protectors were worldly protectors, ordinary beings. Part of the refuge field then is, of course, the Sangha jewel. The Sangha jewel are Arya beings. Therefore, all these protectors that one is visualizing here, it would be inappropriate to think of any of them as being ordinary, as being worldly protectors. Rather, they need to be Arya beings.
And then again, Javidi Kepa, do some Tadu, some Tadu, Chitine Yore, some Chumebachi, and do some Tadu Susugi, Jampatimbu Chaya, and the thing is the same Timbu Chaya, Kava in Gorva.
Yeah, the young Kakana?
Jamba. The Niki Dini, do yours, and Jambatia, and the same Zizi to Neala, Kava in Gorva.
One generates, so this is the visualization then, and by generating this and doing so and repeatedly and gaining familiarity, this serves this has many benefits or serves many purposes. It helps in terms of one's perhaps recollection or mindfulness, one's recollection of the refuge objects, and it also helps one develop concentration through this repeated visualization.
Delia, Jabuti set up Sarans, and down to Jamdro Cheora. That Jamdro can see or Lamna, Nambo, and Zuki Sosorangi, that gave you Dundilla, Sosran to Yuba Samta. That's Sosuki Yuba and the Sosuki Yelia, and Pada Yula Masia, and Dunle Sosugida, Jawa Savada, and the Jiggy, then Jablia, and listen, Donna, Semjan Tam. Semjen Ganichine, Yawa Ida, Dundro Chasa, Semjen Ganichine, Chasa, Rangi, Dunga, Yungu Bala, and the mean number Chasa, mean number to engine, and the Delia, and the Jioba, the Samdam was Radambo.
So, this then is the visualization of the objects of refuge. So we started then with the throne, this vast throne held up by 8 lions, and on top of that, the smaller throne with a lotus, sun and moon disk with that specific representation. And on top of that, one's root Lama, but in the aspect of Buddha Shakyamuni, and in the same form as with the statue. And then one is aware that he is indistinguishable in aspect from Buddha Shakyamuni, or indivisible. And then we spoke about the visualization around the Buddha Shakyamuni from the perspective of Buddha Shakyamuni, light rays emanating from his heart. So we have the practice lineage with Vajradhara above, and on his right and left, then we have the lineages of profound view and vast conduct, represented by Manjushri and Maitreya. And then before the Buddha Shakyamuni, one has one's root Lama, and before that, Yidam Yamantaka. And then surrounding Buddha Shakyamuni on his left is Haruka, his right is Guru Samaja, and behind is the Kala Chakra. And then surrounding in varying levels, one has the Yidams, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, hearers and solitary realizers, and then finally the Dakas, Dakinis and Dharma protectors, all of whom are Arya beings. That's the visualization then, the refuge visualization before one. And now once cultivated this visualization, now one gets ready to go for refuge. Or again, this alternative translation, to turn towards for protection to the objects of refuge. And lastly, one reminds, so then one, having done this visualization, an important point is that one should feel that these beings are present with one. This isn't just a mental exercise, but feel that these beings are present with oneself. And then the last aspect of the visualization is that of ordinary beings surrounding oneself. One has on one's left one's mother of this life, on one's right one's father of this life. Before one, those that one does not get on well with, one's enemies. And then surrounding oneself, behind and surrounding oneself, are all beings. All beings, and no matter what, ordinary beings, no matter what realm they are currently in this life, one visualizes this or imagines them surrounding oneself, but all in human form.
지난 점도 야고 영화라 당보 가서 가르삼 당고라서네 당보 당한 저기 다 지금 동화 삼다에 즉 동화 삼다에 지난 간주 동화다 거기 동화 지난 데니자 다들 봐도 나는 알아서 동화 봐도 매번 영화제 다들 봐도 코코와들 마타와지 동화 냥네 되어봐래 지난 데니자 동화들이야 안 지금 예외 동화세하다 다지게 나송의 동화세하다 가서 밀리네 소설이야 강아 내 나자 베네 당아서 믿어보 샤바네 당아서 또 삼다에 레라로 책으로와 지난 데니자 다 가시네 오늘 샘 마디와다 가시네 지금 류일 나자 나지 온게 강아 슈테데 되어봐 가시네 사야 동야게 강아 가신 누로 매베데 데니 고야게 강아 즉 데니기 가시네 지금 미션기 왕유 다제 동화만 고대야다 아니 가시네 지금 막수게 봐서야다 배 다가 밀리네 동화게 라신자자 다 사야 동야다 데니기 지게 관내 토보를 야가로 쉬비네 다 셈 마기와데 셈 추비 강아 지나 간에 섬다 동화자냐 강아자냐 레샤 섬베 섬다 지래 안가지 데니 가지고 둔돌 섬다베네 둔돌이네 다직 둔돌 호랑을 야직 지기 파사야다 아니 미사야다 베네 냐다고 지기 샤베네 냐지볼야 냐 호랑즈 나노게 사이고르 주기 사이고르 셈자다 마레 사이고르 미스고르 제가 데니게 쇠바서 마제야다 지기 데니기 냐리아 아니 지냐다고 데니 디나 둔돌에 빼강아다 마라 빠도메바도 선비게 디나젠다 이다다 데니게 냐와 동아 빠도메바 요레스 다 동아 델레게 타고도 선비게 삼로 지제 당한저 제가 동아捐로 통하지捐데가 제 삼다 하고 망보하고 왜나 숙체 레베나 아니 델야 타도게 삼바도 숙체 리고로 제가 디네자 강아 동아기 동아 삼다 삼다 동아디게 동아 빠도메바 동아 데니 삼다나 아니 동안 델레데 타고도 선비게 되는 타르게 삼바게 오라데 진짜 디니 삼다 직차고래.
Generally speaking, when we talk about the actual practice of going for refuge, we say there are two main causes for the mind of refuge being generated. So the first then is the reflection on suffering. So one can reflect, and one can and should reflect on the suffering of first the lower realms, then secondly the so-called happy migrations. In other words, one must reflect on that the entirety of cyclic existence is pervaded by suffering, and that we ourselves, since beginning of this lifetime, have never managed yet to free ourselves from this suffering state. So whilst we may be sitting here in hopefully relative comfort, the reality is, as long as we remain without freedom, as long as we remain bound within this prison of cyclic existence, we are always in danger of falling into a tremendous suffering state, whether it's through our circumstances as a human changing tremendously, or at the time of death falling to the lower realms. These possibilities are ever present with us. And I think my advice is, when reflecting on the sufferings of samsara, it's probably easier to come to a clear understanding through reflecting on the realms that we have experience of. So the human realms, the human realm, of course, we have direct experience of, and we can think of the sufferings that we in this life have experienced, of those around us that we know they have and are experiencing, as well as what we observe in the world. We think of people suffering from material impoverishment, or famine, or a severe illness. We think of the suffering that's involved with people who have responsibility, perhaps for children or for a family, and not being able to fulfill that, and their family being in grave danger, and the parents of that family not being able to protect their family. And here this is most apparent in states of conflict, such as warfare. Or we think of where there is conflict on a smaller level, perhaps within a household, and we think of the grave danger that some people live their lives in. And then the suffering that humans experience, of course, is even more profound, perhaps on a mental level. And here we can think of the various mental sufferings that people experience: the anguish, the worry, the depression that can be can dominate one's life. And then, so we can think about the suffering that humans experience, and then also it's useful to think about the sufferings that animals experience, because these are also beings that are seen by us, and we are aware of, for example, that animals always live under the constant danger of not just their life being taken from them, but they're being eaten, probably even alive. So here we can think of the situation perhaps of fish. Every fish has a greater sized predator that is ever present in terms of the potential to be caught and eaten alive. Likewise, danger doesn't come just from within the ocean, it comes from the sky, and there's birds of prey prey on fish. And then, of course, humans do catch vast quantities of fish every day to fulfill our own desire for their flesh. So this is a constant fear and danger that pervades every moment of their existence. So the purpose here for thinking about suffering, the sufferings of samsara, is to generate this strong wish to be freed of suffering, to be protected from this suffering. And this wish for protection turns us towards the objects of refuge, or the objects of protection.
Desan denigi dunga pado meba nyongo bade dade bado an dunga la matar wachi de bare da diring da ji dunga le denigi dunga de le tarwa de machen de tab menu se de tar gudo sembige da dunga de denigi ya chi matar wande jema de ne ke son baina den dunga pado meba nyongo ya re se pe sa sa re samje denigi dunga de ya ji xin zha ba sa ji ba ji dunga de matar de pe sa sa re sembige ane ji da li ke wo re je re.
When one engages in this meditation effectively, fear will arise within oneself. Fear with the recognition that one has not gained certainty over one's condition. And this is because we haven't attained a state that is freed from or liberated from cyclic existence. We are still bound within this prison of samsara with no freedom, with no control. And any number of horrendous suffering situations may befall us at any moment. We have no certainty about our situation, And at any moment, our situation can change for the worse. So thinking like this, fear will naturally arise within oneself. When this fear arises within oneself, then it's skillful to take this awareness, this understanding that has been generated in one's own mind, and apply it to the situation of others. Because all the ordering beings that we are close to, or that we are not close to, that we perhaps don't know, all find themselves in the same situation. That they remain trapped within cyclic existence without any freedom. And that the situation they're in right now, however bad it is, this can change and become unbearable at any moment. The purpose then of generating this fear within ourselves is because then our mind will naturally turn to the question of who can protect us from this perilous state. We want to be freed from the situation, and not only do we want to be freed from it, but in the immediate term, we have the desire to be protected from danger. So we then, having that thought arising, immediately will turn towards the visualized objects of refuge before oneself. And one thing just to add there, we have the objects of refuge before us, as explained earlier, and before them we would also have visualized a table upon which there would be Dharma texts. So that wasn't mentioned earlier, but that should be included in the visualization. So now, in answer to the question, who can protect us? We have the Buddha jewel, as well as all these other Buddhas before us, all these Buddhas before us who comprise the Buddha jewel. They can, through their qualities, provide protection. Moreover, the qualities of the true cessations and true paths in their continuum, which is the Dharma jewel, that too provides protection. As well as then thirdly, the Sangha jewel, the Arya beings. So all three of the three jewels, all three of these are represented within this visualization before oneself. And here then, it's through recalling the qualities of the objects of refuge that one gains confidence that they can provide one with refuge or provide one with protection.
And Gyayu deki gyogu res, karasane Kurang zuge nyamane, ane nyamlin che, ane Kurang zuge dunga les tawa da taraje, ane Kurang zuge gyula yunden, ane bangji rik bangaya dang, ane tobi yunden chasang top diyo bache, yunden yo bache. Ane yunden yo ba nashin, ane shen liya, ma gyoya liya, ane tsewa yo bache, shen dunga seya liya, tsewa yo ba. Kurang zuge yunden yo ba, ane shen dunga seya liya, shen ki duen che bala, tsewa yo ba. 아니 생기 된제게 제 투비 겹 투비 누버여 봐 지사 제유인데 요래 괜히 누비인데 요래스 지사 윤데 차상 여봐 인자 아니 코로스를 겹이 누버디 여바디 디레서 거다 요 겹 그래서 가르세네 코로스를 윤된디 코로나 중에 냠냠치 싸게 냠냠는 집에 냠냠 토네 아니 윤된 톱돼 봐 아니 마 생기 된제 봐라 심절에 저여 봐 아니 생기 된 제네 생 동안을 겹투비 누버여 봐 캔 캔바단 저와다 누비 윤된 차상 예대 봐 인자 디네 둥기 gemne konjo sumti kyobe nuba yore chesa konjo digi kyogre semgito nuba yore se yenden tenje dinigi yenden tenadi jik chagdo.
Yeah, we at this point then in the meditation we generate strong conviction that this mandala of refuge that we have visualized before oneself, these beings whose presence we feel, they have the ability to protect oneself. They have the ability to provide protection to oneself. And this is because they themselves were once ordinary beings, and through cultivating the minds of the Dharma within themselves, they attained liberation. They eliminated completely every trace of fault and perfected every good quality. So therefore, they have unparalleled experience of the cultivation of true paths and true cessations within their continuum, and having perfected them, their qualities, they have become the most skilled of guides and have great experience in leading beings from the ordinary suffering state through the various sequences of trainings, cultivating the minds of the Dharma and attaining liberation themselves. And they do so, the objects of refuge, they do so through this commitment of having attained the exalted state for the sake of others, and now, having attained this exalted state, are enacting this heartfelt wish of theirs. So with this understanding of the knowledge and the experience and the skill of these beings whose presence we feel all around us, we can have certainty that they can provide us with protection.
And Mishanda Chili, Robochilia, and Kyanga Pa, Giro said, Robert Ma, Shandachilia, Robosh Joe, Shuena, Japjoena, that Japjo, so Robert Giro Chess and Colia, Rego Shuena, Midelia, and Gyatso, Shugyo Bache. That Shugyo Bene, and the Pansim Mena Jagmarwa, Chesa, Pansim Yobache, and then Penikorongi, Chanlia, Pansim Yobache. Dene shugyo bache, koran nubayo bache, koran shugyo ba, koran shugyo nubayo ba. Dene na midilia robache ba midige kyache, chudene ba pashol pa kye thugor ba. Sida dinashin, da nuba mena kya nuba mena miji kyo kyaro chelabne, de kya tuya nuba koran yo mar mewanza rewa drup tuya yo mar ba. Ane nuba yena yang kolya kyawa sambe pembe samloj mena, ane rewa jebne rewa nuba drup tu mar ba, rewa drup tu mar ba. Dene inza dene ki yena drup mere. Chesna dene ki nuba chasan sandewa chimbayna, ane kolya roba shuru jiro chelabne ko roba cheche sosu chute kanga dila tartugu warwa. On pe di nashin nga zugi ya gyapsu droya yu dele ya yunde kenpe yunde mena gyapsu droba nga zugi gyaptu mare rwa kenpe yunde kuku ware. Chesna kenpe yunde yobayna ya tsewe yunde mena tsewa mena ane jige ma 교회 갈 하고로 와 진짜 제외 연된 고고래 지난다 될량 캠바다 제와 요는 뉴버치고 겹투에 뉴버여 가지고 고래 뉴버 연된 고고래 지난 되니기 양한주기 대유 유들라 kenje 뉴스 차상 상되바래 상되바인자 되니기 건조 숨보 될라 아니 kenje 뉴스 연된 차상 상샤 될 겹에 뉴버도 세데 디 겹투그래서 비 이치 땜보시고 고거다 되니기 제바나 당한주게 이치체 니 이치데다 대시 코와 델레 동화 강아 망보지 강아 슈 resha kanga del matan tharmendo kanga pe sawe je kanga samta je kanga dile mahomba na danga del matan mahomba dine kanga ya je son pe sasare sambigi jingna ji gurwa ndi jingna de anda su gyobure den de konjosum dile ya gyobe nyuba du su yenden daje konjosum dine yenden du digi gyob tugure diri gyobure sambigi 이시 니디 다 점주 규르 차고래 니 보네
So to bring out the meaning of this word refuge, so we can think to bring this out. We can take a situation in ordinary life. Let's say we live in a place without water that's piped into our home, and like in some parts of the world, one needs to walk a distance and collect water and bring it back to one's home. And let's say one lives in such a place, but one has now hurt one's leg. So one can't walk this distance and carry the water, but one's family relies on one, needs one to bring water back. But a friend offers to help us, to carry our water container and get the water and offer us assistance in a time of need. So this person has the wish to help and they have the ability to help. So this here is an illustration, an ordinary illustration of going for refuge. So this English, now, so that's from Geshe Thubten, just for myself. So this English term refuge, other translations for it which help then bring out the meaning of it would be protection, would be help or assistance, shelter, defense, as in protection. So these are the other words to provide a connotation of what is meant by refuge. So when you hear the word refuge, think of protection or help or assistance. Then one will have a better feel for what is meant by refuge. Then going back to what Geshe has been saying, so if this person who wanted to help us, if this person who could help, this person who offered assistance, if they didn't have the wish to help, no help. If they didn't have the ability, they wouldn't be of any help to us at all. So they require these characteristics of having the wish to help as well as the ability to do so. And in this we can then relate to the objects of refuge, to the three jewels. They have the wish to help. There's these minds of altruism that are developed to the degree of perfection ensures that they have the wish to help. Moreover, through their perfected good qualities and their complete eradication of all faults, they have the ability to help. So with this understanding then, we can generate certainty that the objects of refuge can provide refuge or protect from suffering, protection from suffering, assistance to us, no matter what our problems are. They can help us. So this then is included in the presentation of the cause of going for refuge, this understanding that the objects of refuge have the ability as well as the wish to help us. So it was mentioned a little while ago, there are two causes for refuge. The first was reflecting on the sufferings of cyclic existence, and now this is the second cause of going for refuge, which is understanding that the three jewels, or having certainty that the three jewels have the ability as well as the wish to help us, to provide refuge or protection or assistance to us. So this is the second cause for refuge.
nga dungal kyo niba de kon chepni konjo somba digi kyogri sambegeda lodi kyogri sambegeda lodi ichi lo lingi je ichi je direda ichi direda lodi jenigi da dunga thadala nga kyobe kyo de konjo sum kyogri sambegeda dine inza kyogri cheza dine inza da nya kibu du chuna 기우 주나 권조 숨 아니 누구 주나 권조 숨 마도 셴 삼다에 선배 삼다에 되니게 동아 타달에 껴야 돼 권조 숨데 껴그리 당한 섬전 탐제 동아 될 껴야 돼 권조 숨을 누버도 제자디 권조 숨 껴그리 삼백이 이치 딩기 이치게 되다 겸로세 디레다.
Having cultivated those two causes within oneself, the mind of refuge then naturally arises. So the two causes were first this mind of fear for the sufferings of cyclic existence, and then secondly, who has the ability and the wish to provide protection, to provide refuge from suffering. So through having generated those two causes, the mind of refuge, which is this a mind of trust or conviction, that the three jewels and the three jewels alone can provide one with this protection or with a defense or assistance against the sufferings of cyclic existence.
다 권조스미 교그레 삼제 되니기 이치되다 템부께 대당한 저게 겸로 세야 돼 삼로디 디 안에 야도 고미야디 디 삼로디 뉴버 처처 따야디 다 겸로 삼다 겸로 공부하셔야 돼 디책으로 와다.
And that's with all objects of meditation. What we need to do is cultivate them in our mind repeatedly over a sustained period so that we strengthen our familiarity and habituation to them, and in this way they grow in strength. So this mind of trust, of conviction, that in the three jewels, that when we are in danger or in fear, whatever our problems and difficulties we have, that we then naturally turn towards the three jewels because we see the three jewels as having the ability for us to attain protection from suffering.
지난 내게 삼다제 아는 가능주 될이야 대시 규단 제바 망도자 송도와 망도자시데 규단 제바시데 내게 삼당고래시 삼도 삼로 땅비 안에 아는 당한 저게 칸에 파이니 다 바된뒤 지게 라마라 겹수시라 상제라 저 철라 겹수 견도라 겹수시세야다 내게 파 양안에 양도 칸이만 망부 지 삼도 땅비나 토네는 가서 라마라 겹수시 직가마마 사이다 디gem도 붐다 세야데 니네 최고 니네 삼다지 디갑리아네 삼다네 din 라마라 겹수시세 붐 사야다 상제라 겹수시세 붐 사야다 견도라 겹수시 붐 사야다 철라 겹수시 네 붐 사야디게 니네 사고로 와데 나지 gem도 붐 땅구여시데 니네게 삼로 니네 땅제네 직장가 사야디 din 사고로 와.
This then is, here we're talking about the causes of refuge, or the causes which then, the two causes which then result in the mind of refuge arising. So this then is the explanation of the first line here in this paragraph. Conjoin your mind with the motivation of thorough trust in the three jewels. And this, as has just been said, is something that we need to repeatedly over a sustained period again and again generate within ourselves. And there's actually a refuge practice around us where one would do 100,000 recitations of I go for refuge to the Lama, I go for refuge to the Buddha, I go for refuge to the Dharma, I go for refuge to the Sangha. So this is recited, these 4 lines recited 100,000 times, whilst one has generated this mind of refuge, which is the result of having meditated on those two causes. So meditating on those two causes, giving rise to refuge, then one can engage in this recitation of the refuge formula. So this then is the practice of refuge.
tembu jeje delia na lama la kyosu ma dos chene lama rang la so tabian de shinga de dungi da lama kemro samtan de da lama la so tap dene lama so ta de lemi kulma ane jewe se che an nga su ge semja tamje da lama la kyosu la du kabla de ji nga de thagol semja tamja yorwa da semja tamji ge da lama la kyosu che semja tamji gi 아니 둥기 개비 남게 연된 전신배 톤에 먼저 교구리 선비게 삼노다제 아니 대 라마라 교수체에서는 장사위비 뭐바체 되네 소수이 사고로다 Dranga Lama like Lama Sosorana Kanimalagurwada, so Jandadiki Dinigi, Tam Jigi Dinigi, Lama like Lama like Chess and Bigi Dinigi, Chivi Mevache Resurwam. Mevachine, Dinigi, and do so Lamalia Debazici do, in the sort of Lemi Kulia, Kunima, Vesu Church, and Semja Tamji Chu and Mawes report. And we say the Guinea and Lamiki, Kusung to Gichin Latamche, and Duzigi or Gurche Rangshan, Semja Tamji Lulma, Timche, and Chingazu Liang and Bitirip Kare, Savana Chasan, Dawson, Sabi Mevache, then the Dane, then the Lamiki, Javolia, two songs, and Mevache, who is good.
Titama?
Lami Javolia, two songs. Lami Javolia, Susoda. Lama digi sungyu chi, lami sungyu chi, dinan chu song si roda.
Koso. Deni di tsama kosong yini katui chungsun chikya, nga tso de dön pe kabla, nga tso ka chikpu dön gere, yame semchen tsama, nga tso kola yang dön gere.
Ka chikpu dön mada, chizan nge gala san soso rana dön kanima dön girwa.
Ya sama ki che
chasang ki dön gi yes be meba che gures. Meba che gures. Semcha saja dön gi yoba meba che gures.
Deni goson. So where we are in this refuge practices, we started with this visualization before oneself and then cultivated the two causes of refuge, and they have now arisen within us. In other words, the mind of refuge has arisen within us. And this means we have the mind that has certainty that the Lama and the three jewels can protect us from suffering. And now we're ready to engage in the accumulation of this refuge formula. I go for refuge to the Lama, I go for refuge to the Buddha, I go for refuge to the Dharma, I go for refuge to the Sangha. And whilst we're reciting that, then with this mind of refuge present and with this visualization before us, we then visualize light rays coming from the Buddha, who is in essence indistinguishable from our Lama, and entering into us. And we do so then entering into us and also entering into all the sentient beings that surround us. And in this way, we imagine that we are receiving the blessings of our Lama's body, our Lama's speech, and our Lama's mind. And those blessings are entering into us as well as each and every sentient being. And we do so whilst we're doing this recitation, and we have the aspiration, may all beings also engage in such a practice as well. May all beings, just like I am now, under the care and protection of my Lama and the three jewels, may all beings too come under his exalted care and protection. His, our Lama, and the three jewels, may all sentient beings come under their exalted care and protection. And with such an attitude then, and as well as visualization, we do the recitation.
Dene Lama like Gyatso Jigsa, Dene Sanje like Gyatso Chesa, Dene Gendo like Gyatso Chesa, do Stana Jigin Sare, Dene Membache, Lama like Gyatso Sanje like Chola Gendo like Gyatso Chesa, Dene Gucci Basana Jigorwa, Dene Savi Kabla, Dene Savanda, Dungi Gigol Hasso Chasane, Pana, Wesu Church, and Anzulia, Dishi, Nashin, Rashan, Simja Tamjel, Wesu Shu. We say the little poetry and Kusung to you and then Chasang are Dusikin Nambi, Tony Ranaba, Semja Tamji Yuli Tim, and Semja Tamji Luma Yusumgi Sabiki, and Liang and Bidirip Kadeshina, Dawson, and Be Mevache, Jeresha, and the nature of Resundua.
Nikonda, then they go so. You need also don't sardu, then it did Tamatan Trapore. The Shinkamanga to Giduna Tamanga to her. The don't pick up and sometimes don't pick up and sometimes. And furthermore, whilst he's engaging in this recitation, which can be done in one of two ways, either each line being done many times, or all four done one after the other, whichever way one prefers. So one can go for refuge, recite the refuge line to the Lama many times, the refuge line then thereafter the refuge line to the Buddha many times, thereafter the refuge line to the Dharma many times, etc. Or one can do all four lines as one verse many times, as one wishes. And then one, it visualizes the light rays coming out from our Lama in the form of Buddha Shakyamuni, blessing us and all sentient beings. And one then can also visualize light rays coming from the entire refuge field before us, entering into us and all sentient beings, blessing us, providing us with the blessings of the entire refuge field, with their blessings of their body, their speech, and their mind to us and all surrounding sentient beings. And then we generate the wish that all our, or the thought that all our negativities have been purified.
다 되네게 삼다베나 다 디버셔서 다 두고르베 삼삼지 용그로와다 되네 삼다나 안지게 문이랑 디버셔서 다고르베스 다 다기 매바나 안되네 삼다나 깔레카로에도 와서 삼삼 용그로와다.
So on this last point you may have a bit of a doubt, thinking, hang on, so I'm visualizing or imagining here this and generating this thought, through this practice I have purified all my negativities. So has that really been achieved? And if not, why am I doing all of this?
That's also dunya kingo sadaba nashin deshi sadaba nashin denegi sangye da janju semba da sangye idam ne janju semba chasa yoribes lama idam sangye janju semba chasa yoribes sambaina me yore yo mare sadaba ne yore yo mare me baina de me ba jil yang ju yore samjine jige samdajine da tu chola rure samsam yonsigro.
And similarly, it was mentioned we do this visualization and we should really feel that all the objects of refuge or the entire refuge field is present with us. So then you may be thinking, well, are they really? And if not, then again, why are we bothering with this?
남산 디바 다야데 가고로와 다금 말에 이내야 아주 장도를 제고 그래. 지상 안주기 미바 사답디 두 사답이 안에 야도 사답이나 그 미바 템포차도 원에랑 델야 근데 지게 소신되게 원에 여바로 최고로 봐. 지상 내내게 소소 매기 원에도 진짜 사답 장도를 지는 소소를 장도를 제바이나 되네 샘기 장도로 토네는 마오바나 아니 디바 데니기 뒤지 원에랑 안 dwi기 아니 구송토 라미 제라마이듬 상기 되네 외정원에라 슈야다 외정원에 슈야다 뒤지 원에 바야다 되는 소속이 디방원에 다바디 용고로와 맞아 다대땡 안주 용 말대땡 안주 다 담보도 미바체제 이 장도를 해야 돼.
In answer to the first doubt, that of does this practice actually mean we purify all negativities? Well, sadly not. Sadly not. But this is still a training one should engage in, because what one is doing is training one's mind. So through generating this visualization and doing it repeatedly over a sustained period, then the visualization will become ever more clear and stable. And eventually it will become so clear and stable as if the entire refuge field is actually present. We will perceive them directly as if they were actually physically present. And then when one has developed one's mind to such a degree, then the power of the purification will be, and the power of the purification and our ability to receive blessings from the refuge field will be vastly transformed from where we are now. So whilst the benefits are quite limited in comparison to what will come, we need to train in this way so as to attain the great benefits that will follow.
듄리아 데니게 점조 개유디게 사답 소수기 되지 삼바나시 아니 그 개유디게 아니 연전제다 아니 코발에 타고도 선비게 탈두게 삼바제제 된델이야 아니 지기 동알 개변도 개변 건조스미 개그리 섬이 이시 두진 삼로디 공보용도 삼로디니까지 슈체셔로나디 개와 슈체셔 차거와 개와시까지 슈체셔 차베네 소소 아니 녀마 디바사자디게 디바도 총 두고로 와다 제자 데니자 데니기 ngazu kamja samda du chede gewa du nibo chungshu du cherche du gorwa.
moreover, as one engages in this visualization, then when one's conviction, and as that visualization grows, and the feeling that one is being surrounded by the objects of protection, the objects of refuge, one's conviction that they are present will grow ever stronger. And this is important, that this mind of conviction, the stronger this is, conviction or trust or belief, the stronger this conviction is, then the more merit that we will accumulate, and through the merit we accumulate, we will purify more. So there's this scale between how much merit we accumulate and how much we purify. The more merit, the more one purifies. And this mind of conviction that the objects that can provide protection are truly surrounding me, the stronger that conviction, the stronger the merit, and thereby the greater the purification.
number 2 la ya topasyo mara ye tu ko wa ta nga zo ngwe ne samno ta na tho ne ane ta ta ro dingye jinda jemba dike tembo ma chung yu tho ne ane sanyu ngwe ne de xie tu ko mara wa 지상 안쪽에 되는 게 삼로디 네 자야래 장도를 지야로 지사 되는 인자 대량원이라 예 삼바치네 안에 안쪽에 개위디게 연된 전비관에 전바 있나 연된 대리야 전체와다 안델리아 대바 숙체 용하다 차그로 근데原来面 삼다제네 안두스네 델리아 개위原来面 삼다와이나 델리아 대발이야다 되니 안지게 디수 연된 대리야 갈레카로 책으로 유엔하면 나섬들이 연된 대리고 말와 아니 디기 쪽으로서 셈 뢰 케바디 용고 말와.
If one does engage in the practice in a way similar to that's been described, then as one's visualization develops, and one's merit accumulates, one will feel ever stronger around oneself the presence of the Buddha jewel, of the Dharma jewel, of the Sangha jewel, and one's lamas. And as this feeling of their presence grows ever stronger, so too will one's aspiration to cultivate the minds of the Buddha Dharma within oneself. So too will one's aspiration to cultivate the minds of the Buddha Dharma within oneself grow ever stronger, and thereby so too will one's store of virtue grow ever stronger. So what is preventing us now from perceiving directly the objects of refuge is not a limitation on the side of the lamas and the Buddhas and bodhisattvas and so forth. The obstacle is from our side. Our concentration is still far too weak. But through training in this way, our concentration will develop. And through our concentration developing, we will eventually be able to perceive the objects of refuge directly.
진짜 남비는 가서다 가브리엘이야 점을 치도 되네게 싸다야 뒤스 매바다 안지 갈래 하버로 추베나 덤바상이 점네 꾸지부 파 싸다 안에 라마시나 수수기 자위 라마디야 결혼이 라마시나 결혼이 이담시나 결혼에 다 숭마시나 결혼에 다 라마 이담 간데시나 결혼 최스나 결혼에 선비게 안지 라마 주변에 괜히 라마 괜히 이담 괜히 칸로서 나진 다 차상 결혼이 삼제 자 안지 덤바지부 싸다 되네게 뭐 받지 안 대지나 신다 코발이야 아니 동안 될 마탄데 탑민우 세베 라신 참마 심전 참마 동안 될 타고도 세베 다 동안 될 큐베 뉴바데 다 상게 결혼이 라마 상게 결혼이 삼바체 대바체지도제 아니 디린 다 라마 결혼 껴버리 삼베이 되네게 다 이시 템부 이시 펴야돼 이시 템부 해야 되다 겸도 제단 책으로 지난 데니기 이시 템부 집에 토네다 당한서 라마라 교수시 상게를 쳐라 교수 체스네 아니 지 사야이나 엔디고레다 데니게 사야도 갑라 데니 템베이 템비 꿀마 아니 왜서 최장아들야 소소 라시스임제 차상라 포 아니 지게 아니 주시 군밥 아니 리탐제가 아니 양아들 류가 예수님 세베니데 디립간에 지나 차상 다소 선비메바 쳐야돼 아니 마오바나 안 교고교반은 람냠len 제제 산교고반 토백이 뉴바 개발자 샤송 선비기 메바체나 내가 저 내가 지나 지긴 유로다 디네 섬다나 내가 지긴 유로 섬도다.
For those who have heard this presentation on the visualization and are inspired to do so, then that's really great benefit will come from this. For those who've heard the visualization that has been presented and think, oh, that's a bit complex, there's really a lot of different aspects that are hard enough to remember. I don't imagine how I could visualize all of this. Well, then there is a far briefer visualization that one can do. So what I've explained here is the usual refuge visualization for refuge that is presented in the Lam Rim. But for those who want a more condensed visualization, one can visualize just Buddha Shakyamuni, as was described earlier, or as we see displayed above us in the statue. And then one can visualize Buddha Shakyamuni and generate the conviction that this Buddha Shakyamuni is in essence indistinguishable, inseparable from our Lama, is indistinguishable from our Yidam and from the Dharma protectors. So we just have the visualization of a single being before oneself, but we then generate the conviction that whilst we're visualizing one being, their essence is indistinguishable from our Lama, Yidam, and the Dharma protectors. And this is expressed in the 53rd verse in the Lama Chupa. You're my Guru, you're my Yidam, you're the Dakinis and Dharma protectors, etc. So the visualization can be done in that brief form, and then one can continue with the practice as was described earlier, where one, as one recites the refuge formula, I go for refuge to my Lama, I go for refuge to the Buddha, I go for refuge to the Dharma, I go for refuge to the Sangha. One visualizes light rays coming from the visualized Buddha before oneself, imagines one's receiving the blessings of the body, speech and mind of the Buddha, of one's Lama, of one's Yidam and the Dharma protectors, receiving all their blessings and purifying all our negativities completely. And now with these blessings, we now have the ability to quickly progress towards enlightenment. And we have this because of the protection of refuge that we have. So the meaning here is that through the blessings that we have received in this practice, we now have the ability to cultivate the minds of the Buddha Dharma within ourselves, the minds that are indistinguishable from our Lamas, and it's these that will protect us.
데니게 강아 체지 고미야기 마투바이나 지고 삼다나 지그레스 데니게 지긴 유레스 거든이 어디 디레 안데 가서 디 삼다데 다 곰곰세디 가지고 데네 삼로데 야네 땅제 장들 세디레샤 다 가지고 곰세 점도 곰세디로 아디리기다 쉬어야데 데네시 제마디 마 쉬어야데 체메시 거마 쉬어야데다
데네 labia chik Drenpaje song dene dante yang labia. So just before I mention what Kenneth said now, I forgot one part from the condensed visualization. So one does the visualization in this condensed way, as was said, but then before one engages in the visualization of the light rays and the blessings and purification, one does that meditation that was mentioned earlier. So reflecting that how samsara has no essence. There is no happiness to be found anywhere within samsara, but wherever one is within cyclic existence, one is suffering, and the potential for far greater suffering is always with oneself. And this situation is something that each and every sentient being finds themselves in. Each and every sentient being who, like ourselves, is bound, is trapped within this suffering prison of samsara. And that's the first cause of refuge. The second cause of refuge is that the situation that we find ourselves in, it's only the Lama and the three jewels that provide us with protection, that can help us and assist us through leading us until we achieve our own enlightenment. And it's that way, through developing the minds of the Dharma under their care, under their protection, that we actually attain our refuge and our protection from suffering. So that was the bit I forgot. And then one engages in, again, as mentioned earlier, the recitation of the refuge formula and receiving blessings and purification. So that's what I forgot. And then Genda said now. So again, I want to emphasize that if this more expansive visualization sounds like a bit much, there's no fault at all in doing the condensed visualization. But what is always important with meditation is that one does so repeatedly over a sustained period. Then, through this habituation, this familiarity, change will come. So this is important. So tonight we've looked at refuge. Next week we'll continue with a next line, which talks about the four immeasurables. Got you, Shu?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So we actually finished a few minutes earlier tonight. So if you have some questions, then please feel free to ask. Yes, I.
So one of my heartache in my life is to have heartache and joy is to have met different lamas and had different teaching and different lineages, and I think then being associated with different lineages, then one sort of segregates oneself from the other teachers. And I always found it difficult to understand this need for one guru. And when I feel like I'm in a university where everyone has something to teach, and so I think my mind naturally, say, visualizing the Buddha, then many gurus, then I see all my guru is not just one.
Yes.
Because so I have respect and love for each of my teachers.
Yeah.
So I find it difficult to have one guru.
So if I get the question right, then you've had the great fortune to come under the care of many teachers. So how is it correct that I'm supposed to then just choose one as a root teacher, or how does this process work? Yeah? Okay. Now I understand. One feels a bit conflicted of choosing one over the other. Okay, a good question. Then Lama Tinin Chimpo Kashi Tuksung Angani Kelden Chimpo Yin. Then Nato Tawa Lama Gikola Kasusedu. Kandes ne Konso Nangla Tawa Lama Chik Ming Tagere. Kandes Konso Pelche Tama Hangsang Yapore, Tama Tawe Lama Dang Rungwa Yensere, then he Kandes Chik Damka Chekere.
The Xing and the King was said to do the Rangi Lama, Zawi Lama, San Yujim Dingo, Yeme Samta, then the debut to go and visit Lama Bato and Bochuson, Chesan Lami in so order. Dumpa San Yujim de Lami is, Kevaki Maris, number Jamara Dumpares. Chesan Susurangi Lama Mangu Yubana, Lama Chik Zawi Lama, Susu Lama Chik Kumdik of Lama Shandati Chesan. Lama dig in Namtree in some more. Mado Kaka Mare some more. Then I do sometimes 딜라마 베크랑 규 제와 규니면 가가래 삼다는 지금 말이야. 이제는 인장아 저 라마 찍 소수 제유 라마 찍 곰네 제유 라마디 딱 간지 곰네 라마 찍 디메바지 딜라마디다 템바니 오 예메 삼곰네도 라마 차상 안에 디기 남주레스. 그래서 뭐라 디레 찍바레스. 삼다 찍바레.
So the way to understand this is when you visualize Buddha Shakyamuni and you hear that we relate to him as being indivisible from one's root Lama, then if you have several root teachers, then he's indistinguishable in essence from all of them. And when one visualizes just one root teacher before one, again remind oneself that root teacher is indistinguishable in essence from all the others. They are the same, maybe showing a different aspect, a different form, but they are indistinguishable. And in this way, one doesn't need to, not prioritize, but have one higher, one lower, choose one and ignore others. But see them as all emanations of the same, emanations taking different forms, but indistinguishable in nature.
Okay. 디안주기 미치기 참 저리나 미치기 참 직갑지라 고 지부체 지체 안에 직 군도도 되고 차야 직체 대야 디바야 조사제야 고 두로 안주 지 두로 비미기 두로로 관계 차야다 안 지양 잠갑을래 바로 관계 진짜 직지우를 지구를 쇠시대 차야다 차견 진짜 미치기 난 아주 통하려야 대시 직도도 부지 잘 부로 통과 직도도 비매로 통과라 직도 바고는 현자슈 통과라 진짜 넘버 미저 레레 통과라 가서는 미쳐서 되는 통도 셈냐 가오를 이렇게 쇠고로 와 진짜 디나신기 몰라마 찍고 임발라마 디기 남비기 통하네 소소랑이야 최땡겐기 넘버 자마를 되는 심전 뒤에 두시 된다라 아니 넘버 자마를 된 피고래서 되니기 몇바지 삼당 검열에
And an easy way to relate to this is that if you think of your experience at the theatre, so one actor may play several parts and change their outfit at different parts of the performance, independent on what is appropriate at that time. And so sometimes they'll be dressed as a man, sometimes as a woman, sometimes in a variety of surprising aspects. But it's the same being inside. In essence, they are the same. But dependent on what's in our context, what's most beneficial, they will show one form. Or in the theatre, what is most appropriate at that time, they'll show that form. So this is an easy way to relate to it. So when it says think of one teacher, one teacher, then just remind yourself, in essence they are one. In essence they are one. Okay. Thank you.